are you looking at?
Don't worry, like children here.
Neither do I. We have a responsibility here. This is the remarkable thing about democracy, that we are notified. That we are notified to come down to this place and decide on the guilt or innocence of a person. A person we have not known. We have nothing to gain or lose by the outcome of this verdict. This is one of the reasons why we are strong. We should not be making this a personal thing.
Thank you very much.
What do you think?
We forget. It's good to be reminded.
Glad that we're going to be civilized about this.
Well, we're still nowhere.
No, we're somewhere or getting there, maybe.
Maybe.
Who's got an idea?
I think maybe we should try another vote. Mr. Foreman?
It's all right with me. Anybody who doesn't want to vote?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want an open ballot. Let's call out our votes. I want to know who stands where.
That sounds fair. Anybody object? Okay, well, I'll call up your jury numbers. I vote guilty. Number 2?
Not guilty.
3?
Guilty.
4?
Guilty.
5?
Not guilty.
6?
Not guilty.
7?
Guilty.
8?
Not guilty.
9?
Not guilty.
10?
Guilty.
Yeah. 11?
Not guilty.
12?
Guilty.
Oh!
6 to 6.
I'll tell you something. Crime is being committed right in this room.
The vote is 6 to 6.
I'm ready to walk into court right now and declare a hung jury. There is no point in this going on anymore.
Right.
I'd like to know why you changed your vote. Why you changed yours. Why you did. There's 6 people here who think that maybe turning a murderer loose in the streets. A motion won't do. Why?
It would seem that the old man could not have seen the boy run down the stairs. And I do not think it's possible that he heard someone scream, "I'm going to kill you." Old man dreamed. And if the boy did scream that he was going to kill, we have the authority of this woman to prove that it did not really mean he was going to kill.
Why don't we take it into the judge and let the kid take his chances with 12 other people?
It's 6 to 6. I don't think we'll ever agree on anything.
We've got to be unanimous, and we're never going to convince him.
At first, I was alone, and now 5 others agree. There is a doubt.
You can't ever convince me that there's a doubt because I know there isn't any doubt.
I tell you what, maybe we are a hung jury. It happens sometimes.
Yes.
We're
Yes.
not going to be a hung jury.
But we are, right now. A perfect balance. Let's take it into the judge.
If there is a reasonable doubt, I don't see it.
The doubt is there in my mind.
Maybe we should vote.
What?
Well,
Which is not again.
I still want to know.
Are we or aren't we a hung jury?
Wait. If we vote yes, we're a hung jury, and no, we're not a hung jury,
That's just what I was thinking of.
We can't even decide whether or not the window should be open.
We'll make it a majority. It's the majority wins.
So if 7 or more of us vote yes, we're a hung jury, then we go into the judge and tell him that we're a hung jury.
Right. And if 7 or more vote no, then we aren't a hung jury and we go on discussing it.
Yeah, that sounds right.
anything there.
Solution.
Somewhere.
So we're agreed. 7 or more votes yes, and we take it into the judge.
Let's call our votes out.
You know what?
Okay.
Why not?
I vote yes. We are a hung jury. 2,
No.
3,
Yes.
4,
Yes.
5,
No.
6,
No.
7,
Yes.
8,
no.
9,
No.
10,
Yeah.
11,
No.
12.
Yes!
It's 6 to 6.
We can't even get a
feeling, and I still don't. So I'm changing my vote. I say no, we're not a hung jury. I believe the boy's guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. There's some things I want to find out from those people that change their minds.
Well, then we aren't a hung jury. Go on discussing.
Good, we go on.
Why did you change your mind?
Well, he seemed so sure, and he hit a number of good points. Well, she only gets mad and insults everybody.
Does the anger and the insult change the guilt of the boy? He didn't do it. Are you going to set a murderer loose because the jury gets angry when she thinks a murderer's being turned loose?
That's true.
But there is a doubt.
I don't think so. The tracker is straight in front of the window. Let's take that point. So an L train would have made a low, rumbling noise. L trains screech when they go around curves. So the L train could have heard a scream that's high pitched. This is tenements. They have thin walls.
Good, that's it, that's it.
And what if the old man downstairs was wrong by the time it took him to get to the door, but right about who he saw? Now please remember that there weren't any fingerprints on the knife. It's summer, so gloves is unlikely.
Now I want you to listen to this man. He's got the goods.
Now it might have taken a few seconds to pull out a handkerchief and wipe the fingerprints away.
This is a point.
But why don't we just time this one to see?
Wait. What are we timing?
Yes, let's be exact, please.
No, I'm saying that the old man might have been wrong about how long it took him to get to the front door, but that he was right about who he saw running down the stairs.
Yes.
Now, it might have taken a murderer about 39 seconds to wipe all the fingerprints away and get down the stairs to the place where the old man saw him. The boy, that is.
This is right.
We reconstructed the old man getting out of bed and going to the door, and we timed that. Now let's reconstruct the actual crime.
Right.
As well as we can.
Well, I think a murderer could use up 30 or 40 seconds pretty easily at that point.
Now, let's reconstruct the killing.
Yes, let's.
Here, you do the stabbing.
No, I'll do it.
Why don't you be the one that gets stabbed? You're younger than I am, and don't forget, you take 1 second to fall.
And he was found on his side, his right side, so fall and roll onto your right side. Now, if someone hates a person enough to kill them, don't you think it's reasonable to suppose that the murderer would look at his victim for a second or two?
Divorce yourself from this particular case. Just human nature.
Yes, it seems reasonable.
Hey, wait a minute. He falls and he ends up on his right side. The father did, but stabbing someone isn't like shooting them. I mean, even when it's right in the heart. The father would have worked around for a few seconds, writhing on the floor, lying on the floor.
That's quite possible. There would have been enough oxygen in his system to carry him for 2 or 3 seconds, I should think.
Wouldn't the father have cried out?
Maybe the kid held his mouth.
That's also possible.
And there's another point we might bring up. Anyone who's clear enough mentally to wipe the fingerprints away after murdering someone, well, that person's also clear enough mentally to look around the apartment or the room in this case and see if there's any other clues. It would just be for a second or two, I should think, but still, he would look around.
Just gets better and better.
Trying to make it clear. Well, let's talk about the quality of the murder involved. Well, let's do it.
About this on the fingerprints. Well, the kid wiped the fingerprints off the knife.
Right.
Well, what about the doorknob? Gee, if a man was coming into my home, a man that hated me, and if he was wiping the doorknob with a handkerchief as he came in, it would give me an uneasy feeling. Well, so the doorknobs must have been wiped after the killing. This too would take some time.
You time the last one. What time is it?
All right.
So, stamp your foot when you want to start.
I want the head to be at 60.
I'm going to kill you! Ah! Oh! 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 Okay, that's enough. All right, so he's wiping the fingerprints off the knife, looking around the room, going to the door, wiping off the first doorknob, wiping off the second doorknob, and stop.
20, yeah. 20, 25, 29. About 29 and a half seconds, I'd say.
And whoever takes the kid, I mean, whoever did kill the old man, and I think it was the kid, you still have to run down the hall and down the stairs. At least one flight of stairs.
You see? You see?
So the old man downstairs might have been wrong at the time, but viewing this, I think it's quite reasonable to suppose that he did see the kid running down the stairs.
So now both time sequences checked. The one you did and the one we did. What with the running downstairs and everything, it does pretty much check out on time.
Right, sure, he's an old man who wants attention. She's probably right, but the old man feels the same way we do. A life into the state.
So the story of the old man may well be true.
Except for the fact that he swore absolutely under oath that it was only 15 seconds.
But we all seem to agree it was 25 to 40 seconds later.
So now you're admitting that the old man lied in one case and told the truth in the other. I admit this does tend to confirm the story of the old man, but now he's a proven liar in part by your own admission.
That may be true, that the old man lies in part, but I think it will change my vote once more. Guilty.
What about you? What do you think now?
I'm not sure what to think. I want to talk some more. I started out thinking guilty, and then I changed. And now, I think I'm switching back to guilty.
What about you? What do you think?
I am now in real doubt. Real doubt.
I say guilty. I was right the first time.
Oh,
Now we're
Why
beginning
you
to make
got
sense in
Why?
here.
It seems to be about 9 guilty to 3 not guilty.
All right, one more question about the old man downstairs. How many of you live in apartment buildings?
I don't know what you're thinking, but I know what I think.
What is that?
I don't live in an apartment, but it's closed and there is very little light. You can hardly see the steps. And this murder took place in a tenement. The light bulbs are so small. Remember how we stumbled on the steps?
And the police officers were using big bulbs. One of them even had a flashlight, remember?
This old man who misjudged the time by 24 seconds. On this, we all agree. The same old man looked down the dark hallway of a tenement and recognized a running figure.
He was 100% wrong about the time. It took twice as long as what he
Then
thought.
could not the old man be 100% wrong about who he saw?
That's the most idiotic thing I've ever heard of. You're making that up out of thin air.
We're a hung jury. Let's be honest about
We
it.
are.
Do you truly believe that there is no room for reasonable doubt?
Yes, I do.
Excuse me, but perhaps you don't understand the meaning of reasonable doubt.
What do you mean I don't understand? Who are you to talk to me like that? How do you like this guy? He comes over here running for his life, and before he can even take a big breath, he's telling us how to run the show. The arrogance of him.
Nobody here is asking where anybody came from,
I was born right here.
or where your father came from.
Maybe it wouldn't hurt to take a few tips from people who came running here. Maybe they know something we don't. We're not so perfect.
Please, I am your subject. It's all right. Thank you.
No, it's not all right.
Okay, okay. I apologize. Is that what you want?
That's what I want.
All right, let's stop the arguing. Right, who's got something constructive to say?
Well, something's been bothering me a little. This whole business about the stab wound and how it was made. The downward angle of it all, no?
Don't tell me we're going to start that. They went over it and over it in court.
I know they did, but I don't go along with it. The boy is 5 feet 8 inches tall. His father was 6 feet 2 inches tall. That's a difference of 6 inches. It's a very awkward thing to, stab down into the chest of someone who's half a foot taller than you are.
Look, you're not going to be satisfied until you see it again. I'm going to give you a demonstration. Somebody, get up. Okay, now, watch this. I don't want to have to do it again. All right. All right, is this about 6 inches?
That's more than 6 inches.
All right, let it be more. I'm going to kill you.
Jeez.
That's not
What's the
good.
matter with you?
Oh, now just calm down. Nobody's hurt, are they?
No, nobody's hurt.
Okay, now there's your angle. Take a look at it. Down and in. That's how I'd stab a taller man in the chest, and that's how it was done. Take a look at it and tell me I'm wrong.
Okay, down and in, I guess there's no argument.
Have you ever stabbed somebody?
Of course not.
Did you?
All right, let's not be silly.
Did you?
No, I didn't.
Then where do you get all the information how it's done?
What do you mean? It's just common sense.
Have you ever seen a man stabbed?
No.
All right, well, let me ask you this. This kid was an experienced knife fighter who was sent to reform school for knife utility. Isn't that so?
That's right.
All right, well, let me ask you this. Doesn't this seem like an awkward way to handle a knife?
What are you asking me for?
Wait, oh, well, what's the matter with me? Here, let me see that.
Have you ever seen a knife fight?
Yeah,
In the movies.
my backyard. There's on my stoop. There was this vacant lot across the parking lot. Growing up, switch knives came with every neighbor. You know, it's funny, I never thought of it. He's trying to get that kind of stuff. Well, anyone who has any experience with switch knives would never have stabbed someone downward. You just don't use a switch knife that way. They would have used it under.
So the kid could have made the kind of wound that killed his father.
Well, it was conceivable, but not if he had any experience with switch knives. We know the boy had a lot of experience with switch knives.
I don't believe it.
Neither do I. You're giving us a lot of mumbo jumbo.
What do you think?
I don't know.
Right? How about you?
I'll tell you all something. I'm getting a little sick of all of this already. We are getting nowhere fast. Let's break it up and go home.
All right, before we decide anything further, I want to try to pull all this together.
Now, this should be good.
You guys are right, let him go on.
Do you want me to type this one too?
Let's hear him.
I'm an advertiser.
Oh,
I'm a big shots full of things together. Let's chip up a few shots and see if we can land on the beat.
All right. I want you all to look at this logically and consistently.
We have guilty.
Exactly.
I want to know, is the kid smart or is he dumb?
what do you mean?
This is a kid who's gone to reform school for knife fighting. The night of the murder, he bought a knife, a switch knife. Now, it would take a very dumb kid to go murder a man, his father, with an instrument that everyone would associate with the kid.
I agree. He's dumb.
However, if he were dumb, then why did he make the kind of wound an amateur would make with a knife?
I'm not sure I understand.
To murder someone takes great emotion, great hatred. And at that moment, he would handle the knife as best that he could. Now, a trained knife fighter would handle it as he had been trained. He would go underhand. A man who had not been trained would go overhand. But this kid is being very smart. Everyone knows that the kid's an experienced knife fighter. So he's smart enough at that moment to make the kind of wound an amateur would make. That man is a smart man. Smart enough to wipe the fingerprints away, and perhaps even smart enough to wait for an L train to go by to cover the noise. Now, is the kid smart or is the kid dumb?
Wait a minute.
Well, the woman who saw the murder through the train across the L tracks. Could someone in that train have seen the murder too?
It's a possibility, but no one did that we know of.
Well, it would take an awfully dumb man to take that chance doing the murder as the train went by.
Exactly, a dumb man. A very stupid man, one swept with emotion. Perhaps he heard nothing. Perhaps he didn't even hear the train go by. And whoever did murder the father did it as best that he could. So, this kid has done everything to associate himself with a switch knife murder. And yet, a moment after the killing, he becomes smarter. He's smart enough to make the kind of wound that would lead us to suspect someone else. And yet, at the same moment, he's dumb enough to do this killing as the L train is going by. And then a moment later, he's smart enough to wipe the fingerprints away. To make this kid guilty, you have to say that he's dumb from 8 o'clock until midnight. And then at midnight, he's smart for a second. And then he's dumb for a few seconds, and then he's smart again. And then he becomes stupid. So stupid that he doesn't even come up with a good enough alibi. So, is the kid smart, or is the kid dumb? To say this kid is guilty, you have to toss his intelligence like a pancake. I say there's doubt, doubt, doubt.
I hadn't thought of that.
The old man, he testified under oath that it was 15 seconds. He insisted it was 15 seconds. Yet, we all agree it was more like 40 seconds.
So does the old man lie half the time, and then the other half of the time tell the truth?
For the kid to be guilty, he would have to be dumb, then smart, and then dumb, and then smart, and so on. And also, for the kid to be guilty, the old man would have to lie half the time and tell the truth the other half the time. So you could reasonably doubt.
I'm sold on reasonable doubt.
I think I am too.
I wanted more talk, and now I've had it.
I want another vote.
Okay, there's another vote called for. Well, I guess the quickest way is a show of hands. Anybody object? Okay. Well, all those voting not guilty, raise your hands. Nine. All those voting guilty? 3. The vote is 9-3 in favor of acquittal.
I don't understand. How can you believe this kid is innocent? Look, you know how those people lie. I don't have to tell you. They don't know what the truth is. And let me tell you, they don't need any real big reason to kill someone either. You know, they get drunk and bang, someone's lying in the gutter. Nobody's blaming them. That's how they are. You know what I mean? Violent. Human life don't mean as much to them as it does to us. Hey, where are you all going? Look, these people are drinking and fighting all the time. And if somebody gets killed, so somebody gets killed. They don't care. Oh, sure, there are some good things about them, too. Look, I am the first to say that. I've known a few who are pretty decent. That's the exception. Most of them, it's like they have no feelings. They can do anything. What is going on here? I'm speaking my piece, and you listen to me. They're no good. There's not a one of them who did any good. We'd better watch out.
All right, I've had enough.
Take it from me.
If you open your mouth again,
This kid
I'm
on
going
trial?
to split your skull.
What don't you know about me? Listen to me. What are you doing? I'm trying to tell you something. I'm only trying to tell you.
All right. Sit down, everybody. I still believe the boy's guilty of murder. And I'll tell you why. To me, the most damning evidence was given by the woman across the street who claimed she actually saw the murder committed.
That's right. As far as I'm concerned, that is the most important testimony.
All right, let's go over her testimony. What exactly did she say?
I believe I can recount it accurately. She said that she went to bed at about 11 o'clock that night. Her bed was right next to the open window. to look through her window while lying down and see directly into the window across the street. She tossed and turned for over an hour, unable to fall asleep. Finally, she turned toward the window at about 12:10, and as she looked out, she saw the boy stab his father. As far as I could see, this is unshakable testimony.
I mean, that's what I mean. That's the whole case.
Frankly, in view of this, I don't see how you can vote for acquittal. What do you think about it?
Well, maybe. There's too much evidence to sift.
What do you mean? He's absolutely right. You can throw out all the other evidence.
Yeah, that was my feeling. I don't deny the validity of the points that he's made. So I say that on one side of the tracks, there's doubt. But what do you say about the story of the woman? She saw it.
What time is it?
About 55 past 12.
Can't you see the clock without your glasses?
Not clearly.
No.
Yeah, glasses are nuisance, aren't they?
What do you all do when you wake up at night and want to know what time it is?
I just put my glasses on and look at the clock.
I just lie in bed and wait for the clock to chime. And my father gave it to me when we were married, my wife and I. It was 10 years before we split it.
Do you wear your glasses to bed?
Of course not. Nobody wears eyeglasses to bed.
The woman who testified that she saw the killing, she wore glasses. What about her?
Did she wear glasses?
Of course, the woman wore bifocals. I remember these things. Look, heavy.
That's right, bifocals. She never took them off.
It's funny, I never thought of that.
So I think it's logical to say that she wasn't wearing her glasses in bed and that she wouldn't put them on to casually look out the window. She testified that the murder took place the instant she looked out and the lights went out a split second later. So I don't think she had time to put them on. Now, perhaps she honestly thought she saw the boy kill his father, but I say she only saw a blur.
How do you know what she saw? Maybe she's farsighted. How does he know all these things?
Is there still nobody who doesn't think there's not a reasonable doubt?
I will always wonder, but there is a reason.
I think the kid's guilty.
Anyone else?
No, I'm convinced now. There is a reasonable doubt.
You're all alone.
11 votes not guilty, 1 guilty.
I don't care whether I'm alone or not. I have a right.
Yes, you have a right.
Well, I told you I think the kid's guilty. What else do you want?
Your argument.
I gave you my arguments.
We're not convinced. We're waiting to hear them again. We have time.
Listen, what's the matter with you? You're the guy. You came up with all the arguments. You can't turn now. A guilty man is going to be walking the street of murder. Stay with me. He's got to die.
I'm sorry. I'm convinced. I don't think I'm wrong often, but I guess I was just once. There is a reasonable doubt in my mind.
We're waiting.
You're not going to intimidate me. I'm entitled to my opinion. It's going to be a hung jury. That's it.
There's nothing we can do except hope that some night, maybe in a few months, why, you might get some sleep.
You're alone.
It takes a great deal of courage to stand alone.
It is a hung jury. It'll be another trial, and a few of us will point these things out to the various players.
All right.
We're waiting. Not guilty.